expressed their deep appreciation for the medical Ayurveda prowess of Shyama Prabhu. So I had connected with him first in the early 90s when he was a student at BJ Medical College. And from that point onwards, we were very close, especially when he was in the ashram. He was very deep into the scriptures, and I would be astounded to see his ability to really grasp spiritual knowledge. I always used to think that, amongst ISKCON devotees, if I have seen some really powerful Kshatriya, so that was Shyam Krishna Prabhu who departed. And amongst ISKCON devotees, if I have seen a really powerful Brahmana, that was Shyama Vallabha Prabhu. So he had the ability to just grasp knowledge of any sort and spend time with, tons and tons of information, literatures, books, and then get the distilled essence. So of course, after he left from the ashram, I did not have much touch with him. Like Sanat Kumar Prabhu was still keeping very close touch with him in all those years. Then it so happened that he started getting into Ayurveda, and even during that part I was not much aware. But Govind Prabhu would tell me that he's getting into Ayurveda. And then a couple of years ago when we were in Udupi for Pejavaram Maharaj's Paryay, that time he came and showed me the book which he has published. And I was quite amazed, because I thought within 4 or 5 years of just connecting with Ayurveda, how could you publish a book like that? So he was extraordinary in his talent. And then, at Govardhan Eco Village in 2011, when we began the whole retreat center, so we had very less time because we did the construction so fast. So, I had reached out to a few Ayurveda people around, and Birla Kerala Ayurveda had reached out, and they really helped set up all those things for several years. But we really did not have like anything of the authentic, deep, curative kind of Ayurveda practice. And so from last couple of years, Maharaj has been expressing desire that we should get something like that. And from this year, especially after March, that means last year, 2017, Keshav Prabhu became really more deeply involved, and we did lots of changes in the way we operated the Eco Village and started getting more professional people on board. And then we were just beginning to focus on the yoga aspect to make the Govardhan School of Yoga really functional and connect with the bhakti elements and how it can be a powerful preaching tool also. So we were just putting our elements in place, increasing the number of rooms, and we were not in any situation to actually focus or even look in the direction of Ayurveda. And His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj requested us to, have a look at what Shyama Prabhu has to offer. So last March, we had invited him, and that is when he made his first presentation to the board. And of course, other Ayurveda vendors were also there. And then in that meeting, we just told him that we have great faith in your abilities, but because you have a project going on at Wayanad, you have something happening in Vrindavan, we do not know how you will be able to do justice to another place here at Eco Village. So we don't think it will work. So, in April, we went ahead with someone else to just continue the previous type of massage kind of Ayurveda and other things. Then when I went to New York in summer, Maharaj was asking me what happened to Shyama Vallabha. And then I told him that this is what our response was, and because it was part-time. Then Maharaj was really insistent that we should again look at the merit of this, because you will not get such authentic doctors in the devotee community. So anyway, I told Maharaj, since you are coming in August, we'll look at this option again. And because I had dealt with him before in the ashram, so I was not confident of his ability to really, deal managerially and things like that. But I thought when Maharaj comes, then probably we can take that call. So in August when Maharaj came, so that is when, some of us were presenting to Maharaj that maybe we can look at the, curative, authentic Ayurveda introduction at Eco Village, maybe the next year, that means this year, sometime later. Why do we have to go ahead now? So at that point, Maharaj wrote a mail, which is, in my experience of last 25 years, one of the longest mails he has ever written, And I just wanted to express how he mentioned about Shyama Vallabha Prabhu in that one mail, but all the points were captured, and also what is his desire with respect to the Ayurveda facility at the Eco Village. So Maharaj begins the mail in response to our various points on how this is not the time to, think about Ayurveda and things like that. So Maharaj begins by saying, I disagree. ... Then he says, we have a facility for a wellness center. It is a small but great facility, but is going nowhere. Our wellness center will be every bit as important as the yoga school, but we need a doctor who has a reputation, actually cures people, and harmonizes with our teachings and culture. Reputation, cures people, harmonizes with our teachings and culture. Shyama Vallabha has all of these qualifications. Everywhere in the world that I go, many people praise him after being his patient in his clinic in Vrindavan. They all say that he is the real thing. Potentially, he could be the best person we ever find. We have a chance of starting something that will be wonderful. Let us have a positive attitude and discuss with him. A tree grows from a seed. We need a seed, an acclaimed and attractive doctor. From the seed, we could grow. We start with what we have, the clinic, our classrooms for teachings, and our guest rooms and future tent rooms. We should not compare ourselves with these huge Ayurveda clinics. They started small too and have a very different purpose. I feel that the time is right to develop a vision and begin. Let us, with a positive approach at this time, explore if we can do this with Shyama Vallabha. With my prayers and gratitude, Radhanath Swami. So Maharaj really could see that here is a person who could perform a great amount of seva, especially for the ISKCON community worldwide, because ISKCON has a congregation which is aging, and devotees across the world have various ailments, especially amongst Srila Prabhupada's disciples and also amongst congregations. And many devotees are really confused. Where do we go to get real authentic treatment for especially diseases which allopathy doesn't have any cure for? And when Shyama Vallabha Prabhu was actually brought on board, and when I started, the first day he came for giving an interview, a very high-level person from Delhi who is, very close to the, Prime Minister, he was here. And it was a very secret visit for just 4 or 5 days, and we had kept it completely confidential. And so I thought, let me try, how is his response to Shyama Vallabha Prabhu's treatment, because Maharaj seems to have a lot of faith and everyone is praising him, but I know him as an allopathic doctor before. Let me check it myself. And so I just referred Shyama Vallabha Prabhu and told him, some old classmate of mine has come, just check him out. So he went, and within 24 hours, that high-profile person had opened himself up completely, shared his real identity, name, number, and next week he was at his house in Delhi. And then I was really shocked. And then like that, I introduced 1 or 2 of my other very high-profile people I know. And then, they were so impressed that one of them, I just told them that he has departed. And he's so shocked. He said, I don't even want to hear how he departed because I just can't get over this shock. So, in the last 4 or 5 years, he definitely got some kind of Shakti which we have not seen him like in that kind of a power which we saw in the last few years. And definitely we had great hopes, and especially Gauranga Prabhu was putting a lot of energy, a lot of effort, spending a lot of time hearing him out, understanding him. And I had already, I could see that this was one moment, one opportunity through which we could actually bring the traditional Ayurveda of Kerala, and through Shyama Vallabha Prabhu present it to that level of society which may not easily accept some of our traditional, medicines and sciences, because he had a certain way of communicating which was par excellence. And he could just impress people because he knew how to present things in a very, very concise and very amazing manner. And that came from his genuine desire to help. And I would tell him many times, at Eco Village, 8:30 at night, we all go to sleep. The Lord is put to rest at 7:30. You are the only one who's awake at night. Why don't you also sleep? Join the mood of the Eco Village. We sleep, you also sleep. But he had such deep desire to study that many times he would spend time at night studying, and he would respond to different patients even at the night time, because that was part of his mood to really go out of the way to help people personally and take care. So I got a phone call from Bhakticharu Swami Maharaj, and then again on the day of his departure and also yesterday. And then he said that I really want to send an offering. Bhakticharu Swami Maharaj is also very deeply into Ayurveda last couple of years, at least a few years. And he said, I request you to share this message with the devotees. So I'll just conclude with this message. I got to know Shyama Vallabha Prabhu last October in Vrindavan. At that time, I became very sick with a terrible pain in my left foot. It was so excruciating that I could not even place my foot on the ground. And as a result of that, I was bedridden for 3 days. Shyama Vallabha Prabhu got to know about my condition from some devotee, and out of his sheer concern for me, he came to treat me. I was very impressed with him, his very handsome demeanor, charming personality, and genuine concern for my condition naturally created an immediate liking and genuine attraction. As he started to treat me, I could see his profound expertise in that field. He could immediately detect the cause of my ailment, and as he started to treat me, I could feel the relief. He applied some oil and massaged my feet for a long time. Then again, he came in the evening and treated me for the second time. When he finished his treatment this time, I was completely cured of my pain. While he was massaging me, he was talking to me, and very quickly I got to know him quite intimately. He told me how he joined Shri Radha Gopinath temple in 97, served there for quite a few years as a brahmachari. Then he pursued his career, completing his MBBS and then Ayurveda. When I told him that I was also an ardent admirer of Ayurveda and wanted to promote this branch of Vedic wisdom in America, he immediately agreed to join hands with me, and we decided to organize seminars for him in different cities of America in the summer of 2018. Therefore, this news of his sudden departure from this planet caused such a shock and sorrow to me. When I was about to organize a few programs for him in Orlando, Miami, and a few other cities in Florida, I got this sad news and naturally became overwhelmed with distress. He was also doing so much for the Ayurvedic setup at the Eco Village, and everyone was looking up to him with so much expectation. I can well imagine how they also must be feeling now due to sudden departure from this planet. It has indeed been such a great loss for all of us. At a time like this, we cannot help but wonder why Krishna allows such a thing to happen. However, we know that He is the completely independent Supreme Lord, and we cannot question his action. However, we also know without a shadow of doubt that wherever he has taken our very dear Shyama Vallabha Prabhu, he must have a very wonderful plan for him, His Holiness Bhakticharu Swami Maharaj. So then the night when he departed, the next day morning, I was going to begin the treatment at 6:30. And he was telling me for some time I should take some treatment, and I was telling him I'm all right. And I would tell him that you got conditioned to see disease everywhere. And then he was insisting he wants to do some treatment. And then I said, okay, you are planning something, but I really want to meet your guru. And when he confirms, then I will follow. Because I know you from so long back that I can't take you seriously as an Ayurvedic doctor, although everyone respects you. So then, Dr. Krishna Kumar, Dr. Shashi Kumar ji, who has come all the way from Nachil, near Calicut, and Shyama Vallabha Prabhu spoke about him very highly, and he had specifically come to just confirm, because Shyama Vallabha Prabhu was having a certain analysis of Maharaj's health, and because he was so particular that whatever the treatment plan he had in mind for Maharaj was fully reconfirmed by other authorities. So he had called Dr. Shashi Kumar also. So at that time I also connected with him and, had a consultation, and then he was planning certain things. And immediately after departure of Shyama Vallabha Prabhu, we were totally confused. So just 3 days back, I was there at Kerala, and I requested Dr. Shashi Kumar to come along with someone else whom he felt would be able to help us. So, out of his sheer concern and his relationship with Shyama Vallabha Prabhu and his desire to really keep the dreams and the vision of Shyama Vallabha Prabhu for authentic Ayurveda at Eco Village alive, he came here this morning and he spent some time examining Maharaj. And, the good news is that Maharaj's treatment plan continues under his guidance and direction. And also, he is willing to mentor the Govardhan Ayurveda at Govardhan Eco Village. And one of his students, Dr. Srijit, he would be coming and taking charge, and he would be overall guiding him. And we hope that this would be a fitting way in which we could reciprocate with the desires which Shyama Vallabha Prabhu had about authentic Ayurveda continuing at Eco Village. And on behalf of ISKCON community, I am really grateful to Dr. Shashi Kumar for extending himself, and let us express our gratitude to him also. Hari Bol. His Grace Shyama Vallabha Prabhu ki